Okay, we're live. This is a little bit random. Trying to catch you people out pretty much. Oh my god, we've got someone already. Dorian, nice one, son. Can't believe it. I've been on air for 15 seconds. Awesome. So yes, it's going to take a while before we get this up and running. This is off the back of a road trip that I just done, around 150 miles, 2 different countries, England and Wales, and the stuff that I've seen is unbelievable. I really want to know what you guys have been seeing, because do you know what? After what I saw, I had a look around online and I can't find anything which is going to any steps to satisfy my thoughts about what the hell's going on. The woodland in the UK, there's so many ones that I've seen have just been decimated. But not only that, the trees that they are planting in their place, some of them have been there a year, and like 80% of all of them are dead. So it's not just a case of planting trees and it'll be okay. It's planting them and really looking after them. Okay, trees are so important. Basically, for myself, I love hitting the woods, just sort of get away from it all, like most of us should do, with the amount of BS and the news which is being pushed on us. It's really good to reset in the woods. So recently, I went to the woods where I usually go to in the back mountains of Wales, only to find the entire woodland gone. It was absolutely shocking. It was just unbelievable. My partner visited there, and when she reported back, I couldn't believe it. So eventually I got to see it with my own eyes, and it was frigging shocking. It really, really was. So before I crack on, well, we've got 175 people already. Well done, you lot. Can someone tell me if the audio and visual is good? Now, we're doing something different. We're out and about mobile in the 4x4, and what I'm doing is I'm searching for communication towers so I can park alongside to give me enough signal, which is all completely mobile. I've got the EcoFlow powering up the whole thing. So it looks like yes, 5x5, so we're good. Wow, because I had a feeling that it will be a little bit sketchy with the video, etc. So the audio is okay. Thank you, Keith. Essex Prepper, 5x5, all good. Right, thank you. Awesome. So yes, let me just go and see if I can show you a few things. All right. This was up in Jockland, up north. Yes, we'll have to burn millions of trees after cuts. This was only a few weeks ago, this month. Okay, so this isn't just Scotland. We're looking at all over the UK now. Look at this. He has 130 million trees growing on his nursery, but many fears will have to be destroyed because of cuts to government funding. So this literally is the elephant in the room, boys and girls. Look at this. As part of its climate change commitments, the Scottish Government is meant to be increasing tree planting to 18,000 hectares annually from this year. A target would involve about 28 million trees across an area about 3 times the size of Dundee. You seeing this? However, it was announced in the December budget that funding was being cut by 41%. Wow. Check this out. Only 9,000 hectares. So it's half of what they wanted to do is actually going to happen. So we could go on and on and on through this scary report. And if you wanted to read more, I've actually put that underneath this video. So if you click on more, description box, whatever you want to call it, that link to that article is in there so you can read the whole thing. And another one is this one here. This is good. We've got 237 people in the house. Go and tell your friends we're live, people, because we need to sort of get to the bottom of this. Now, this is another one. Is deforestation a problem in the UK? Right. This was like over a year ago now. Okay. And it's all down to the 2030 BS. Okay. It's unbelievable. And again, this article, which I skimmed through earlier, is underneath this video. So if you wish, you can read this all for free underneath, and it will go into a little bit more detail about some of the things we are going to be talking about in this live stream. Okay, look at this. They want to expand the UK tree cover to 16.5%. Okay, they want to restore 500,000 hectares of wildlife habitat, improve marine conservation, etc., etc., etc. Now, here's where I've got an issue. It's all well and good saying, yes, we should plant more trees. Yes, we should do this. And you know what? I agree. I absolutely agree. But if that seems to be the information that we can see online, what we are seeing with our own eyes is the opposite. Do you know, how many times have I banged on about this before? Okay, what we are being told, the opposite is happening. And I've lost count how many examples I can give to you, the viewer, and anyone else of what they are saying in the mainstream. The frigging opposite is actually happening. So we've just read a few articles, etc., that they are planning to plant loads of trees all over the UK, especially in Wales, and moreover in Scotland, by the way. But what we're actually seeing, lots of forests are being cut down. Now, there's all sorts of weird and wonderful reasons behind this, what we're seeing. Okay, now I read a comment somewhere that lots of trees were cut down to pave way for HS2, the high-speed rail network, and were never replanted. Okay, fair one, absolutely. If they're going to bulldoze a great big line all the way across the country and lots of trees have to come up, basically, how I would say every tree that gets taken down, 3 more should be put somewhere else to sort of counteract that. Now, I'm not going all green and all carbon and all the rest of it. To me, it's just freaking common sense. Okay, when you look at the aerial photograph of the UK back in the 50s and then look at it now, the amount of forests that have disappeared will frigging blow your head off. You just can't comprehend it. So when you've got all of the pollution, all of the people, all of the migrants, the population's just gone nuts here in the UK. So more and more people, more and more energy, more and more madness. You should really be putting more and more trees there. So what they're doing, they're letting more and more people come into this country illegally, I might hasten to add, and they're removing lots and lots of trees. So it's lunacy. Lunacy at its pure finest. It's insane. Now, when I went to see my guy to get my logs for my stove back home, I talked to him about this. I said, is it just me, or is it everywhere I'm driving around Wales? Loads of like hillsides and mountains that were always covered with trees are just disappearing. And I'm not just saying a few, it's frigging off the charts. It is absolutely unbelievable. In fact, like I said, the woodlands that I used to go wild camping in, which I've done a few videos on, was an absolutely beautiful natural habitat. It was amazing. The whole lot's gone, decimated. In fact, I'm going to try and go there and do some film to show you, to not just back up what I'm saying, but just to give you an idea. Some of you guys have seen my videos in them woodlands. To see it now, it looks like that area has been raped. It's just disgusting. It's absurd. It's obscene. It's unbelievable. Now, the guy, going back to the guy where I get my logs from, he said about 50 years ago in the 70s, there was some sort of agreement about planting lots of pinewood plantations, not just in Wales, but all over the UK. And apparently there was some sort of deal. I can't verify this, by the way. This is just what I've been told. That in 50 years' time, they're going to be cutting them all down to harvest them. Now, I think that's a bit sketchy. Does it take 50 years to grow pine trees before you cut them down? I was thinking 20 years, maybe. 50 years is a long time. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know everything there is to know about certain trees, certain habitats, certain varieties, certain conditions, etc. And he said to me, that's why you're seeing lots of trees come down. And do you know what? I've had a look online. I can't find jack shit about that anywhere. I've tried typing in all different sorts of formats and variations of that. And here we are. Rachel, my partner. Cheers, darling. The log guy. Yeah, we're going to call him the log guy. There was a government grant 50 years ago to plant, and all the trees are being harvested right now. Well, I don't. Yeah, exactly. Do you know what? My love, that's absolutely correct. That's exactly what we was told by this guy. I can't find a shred of evidence backing up anywhere online. If anyone knows anything about that 50-year government grant to plant shed loads of trees, and then they're all coming down within 12 months. Really? Did it take 12 months to completely plant all of them trees all over the UK? I very much doubt it. And, you know, last year and this year already, just unbelievable. Complete and utter devastation. Apologies a little bit if you can hear some fan noise. I'm sat in a vehicle on remote comms today. So that's the EcoFlow River 2, which is just compensating for the energy output via the fan. It'll be okay in a sec. But yeah, I've heard all sorts of things about why all of these trees are coming down. Another thing which I looked into recently is apparently, oh, I don't believe this for a second, that lots of trees were planted without understanding or realizing, which I think is bullshit, by the way. They accidentally planted millions and millions of trees all over the UK onto peat bogs, which are now drying up, and it's releasing more carbon and CO2 into the atmosphere. So therefore, they got to cut all of the trees down, which are on top of these peat places, and they're going to be sealing off the peat areas. Now, I've mentioned this a few times in some live streams in the past. Where I live in Wales, there's quite a few peat bogs, and where my friend Wayne is up in Northern Ireland, there's peat bogs out there, and up in Scotland as well. Now, apparently, peat is very, very bad for the environment. So apparently, peat exudes carbon into the atmosphere, which makes it really, really bad for everyone. And that's the reason, or one of the reasons, why our weather patterns have gone haywire all over the UK. Well, I'm pretty sure if there was no carbon in the atmosphere, all biological plant life and biolife, like you and me and animals, would die. The oxygen in the atmosphere just would not be correct. I mean, let's face it, all of the plants, flowers, weeds, flowers, food, whatever it is, they all rely on carbon. They breathe that in and then convert it into oxygen, which we all breathe. I'm pretty sure it doesn't take a rocket surgery guy to understand that. So what happens if you stop carbon getting into the atmosphere? What happens? The trees and all of the plants won't be able to live because they feed off of carbon. These evil, disgusting, perverse, satanic bastards who are behind all of this net zero climate change BS 2050 net zero bullshit agenda, those people, so the little shop front, which they call the United Nations, and other organizations, especially the World Economic Forum, C40 cities, it goes through all global different governments, okay? And basically, the way that they're doing this is money, okay? Lots of businesses rely on credit. If big businesses don't have credit, they will cease to exist, okay? So the only way that they can get money is to borrow it. Now, what's been happening is these companies have been borrowing money with conditions attached. Okay, you can borrow this £1 billion, euros, or dollars, but you have to prove to us that you're doing your bit to save the environment, that you have to make sure that your output of carbon is being reduced. So if you run a fleet of vehicles which relies on diesel, your carbon output is going to be insane. So you're not going to be able to borrow much money. So anyone who is outputting carbon or CO2 into the atmosphere are being penalized. So the only way that you're going to get money, grants, loans, is if you play by the rules. And the rules are, we don't want carbon in the atmosphere by 2050. That's the goal. So basically, if these evil, satanic, leftist, disgusting bastards get their way, by 2050, everyone will be dead. Everyone on the planet, all of the trees, everything will be gone. Why? because they are trying to reduce the carbon. Now, think about it. What you breathe out is carbon, okay? Yeah, you breathe out carbon. And when you walk, you leave footprints. They want to reduce the carbon footprint. Basically, they want to reduce the population. That's what they're saying. That's what they're actually saying. Are we seeing that on the news? No, of course not. Are we seeing it on social media? If you're lucky, because what's been happening is people like me and many others who are talking about this stuff being silenced. We've been shut up. In fact, I doubt very much that this video will earn me any money at all. Why? Because advertisers don't want to put their product against or next to someone who is talking the truth. In fact, if I wanted to make loads of money on YouTube, do you know what I'll be doing? I'll be talking anything about pro net zero. Okay, I would be absolutely have a big audience with all that sort of stuff, and the advertising revenue would be insane. But because I'm doing the truth, which is the opposite of what they're saying, nothing's coming through. Okay, and not just me, other people. You look at the CPM, the revenue rate of what you get when you talk about stuff which they don't want you to talk about, you get well penalized. So it's insane, and it's very, very difficult for people like me to get this out. So I'm urging you, if you can you please share this video? It really, really helps. The bigger the group, the better. So if you're in a WhatsApp group, a Telegram group, or especially in a Facebook group, if you're in a Facebook group with lots of followers on there, if you can put the link to this video on there, I'll be really, really grateful. And if you can hit the thumbs up, that would be seriously cool too. And if you're new here, if you want to subscribe, that really helps. And if you want to be notified for any videos or live streams like this, please click the notification bell. That really, really helps. And also, if you want to support the channel, all of those links are underneath. You don't have to, but it really helps. Mainly because I am being penalized for speaking the truth. So we're going to drop into the chat right now to see if you guys and girls are seeing the same. I mean, my journey from mid Wales to Derby, pretty much where I went, okay, to the heart of England, I saw so much stuff. Now, I just done the live stream just for a short period of time on Instagram. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not going to beat any bones. I can't stand Instagram. I hate it. I don't really want to go on there anymore, if I'm honest. I went on there, there's 18 people on there. And when you asked a question, I think I got 3 answers out of about 20 minutes on there. It's pointless. Okay. Already here on YouTube, we've got nearly 500 people and loads of people have been putting insightful comments. So thank you very much indeed for all of you guys who are contributing. What I want to know, it's a very simple question, and I want all of you to help me on this. Okay. I want to know if you've been seeing lots of trees or indeed woodland or forest being cut down. Where have you seen it? Is it where you live? Is it somewhere that you've traveled recently? We're mainly focused about the UK, but I suspect we're probably seeing this in America too and Europe. I don't know, it's just a hunch. And it seems to be following the trends of what we've been seeing about the migrant crisis. It's not just the UK, it's happening all over the West. So this could be the same, all right? Because we are trying to get a community here and we're trying to put all of the dots together to try and figure out what's going on, because we need our trees, we need our woodlands. And most of us, as soon as that crisis hit in 2021, where the energy prices practically doubled, do you remember? And lots of people rushed out to buy wood burning stoves. Guess what? The backlog was at least 8 months to get a wood burner from that point on. And apparently they are still fulfilling back orders because of that glitch in the system where everyone rushed out and they wanted to get a wood burner. What do you think's happened? The demand for firewood and coal has increased exponentially. Huge. The demand for firewood is insane. Now, when I just saw my partner on there, Rachel, earlier, the log guy, nice one, the log guy that we use, I speak to him every time I go and see him. I'll probably get firewood every 6 weeks, something like that. And he said to me that they are selling firewood at a rate which they have never ever seen before, and they've been trading for donkey's years. This is the most expensive that they are charging, and the most they can't keep up with demand. So if any of you guys have a wood burning stove, are you seeing and hearing the same thing? Is the availability of firewood getting quite difficult? Is the quality of the firewood quite difficult? Personally, I love to use really dry, well-seasoned hardwood. The bigger the better. We're talking like beech, we're talking about oak, we're talking about ash, and some of that stuff's really, really good. It burns for a long time. It's clean. When you look at a chimney outside, there's no smoke. Okay, so it is good, solid, really good quality fuel. It's really difficult to find. What we are seeing now, sometimes there's a mixture of softwood getting in with the hardwood. So basically, softwood burns really hot, really fast, and it soots up all of your chimney, which means you might even have to get it swept twice a year. Okay, it's crazy. So good quality, dried, well cured or seasoned hardwood is the way to go. So let me know. I'm going to be looking into it now. I know there's a bit of a lag between what I say and what I see. So what have you got in here? Right, this is from Connie. Right, the national park across the street removed trees. First time I'd seen it. Do you bug out in for trees? They also redid the park, but most of the woods are still there. Do you know what? You saying that another thing which I read about earlier. I don't live in an urban area anymore. I bugged out basically to the mountains because I can see what's coming, and I done everything I could to get away from the city. Absolutely, and I encourage anyone to make it a priority. Okay, there's always a way. If you really want to do it, you will. Okay, everything else is just excuses. You must try your best to go out into the countryside, whatever it takes. It should be the most singly important, big number one item on your agenda for you to accomplish. Sooner the better as well. What I heard was lots of trees are being cut down in urban areas because of subsidence. I call BS on that personally. Yes, trees have roots, and yes, they go underneath like pavements and roads and things like that. But why all of a sudden are they all being cut down? Someone was saying also on another article that it costs so much money to maintain tree health, then rather than do that, they just cut them down. That is one of the most idiotic, frigging ridiculous comments I think I've ever heard. Do you absolutely realize how important trees are? Basically, if we have no trees, we're dead. Who loves living in a desert without trees? Do you want to see that? I don't. Trees are great. When it's a hot summer's day and you get into the dapple shade, it's lovely. It's rich in environmental habitat. Everything from tiny bugs that you can't see right up to deer and everything else roam in the woodlands. It's beautiful. It's their home, and we should use it as much as we possibly could, but respect it. We should always respect our environments. Never ever leave any litter or literally take the piss out of the woodland. We need to literally really look after them, okay? And the worst thing you could ever do is to cut them down. Where the hell are all these really important insects and animals going to live all the time we're cutting these trees down? You go looking for it online, it's really hard. You will see lots of bullshit flannel to say, oh yes, we're going to rewild Wales and Scotland, we're going to plant trees, we're going to do this. Well, do you know what? Yeah, go and have a look. Oh my God, there's a YouTube video I saw earlier on the side of all of these big roads and motorways. You've probably seen them, thousands of these little trees planted with these little white or green plastic collars that protect them. Okay, 1 year later, guess what? 80% of all of them are dead. You just literally pulled a dead stick out. All it looks like they're doing is they are planting all of these to tick in the box and to say, look, this government is doing its best to support the net zero agenda of 2050. Look, we're planting all these trees. Yeah, that's great. You tick the box, you plant a tree. How many of them are still alive? I don't know. Go and check. Okay. 80, maybe more percent are all dead. Oh no. Well, you've ticked that box to saying you planted a tree. Yes, you planted a tree. The problem lies with you need to frigging maintain them. Any one of you watching right now who is in the tree business knows full well it's not just a case of putting a sapling in the ground and leaving it hoping it'll be all right. How many of you have planted fruit and vegetables before? You guys tell the others, you know what it's like. I've done it. You know what it's like to plant something. You have to look after it. You have to weed it. You have to check it for pests. You can't just leave it and expect to go back in 6 months and dig up perfect produce. It doesn't work like that, Jack. The same with trees. We need to plant them and look after them, check them. 80% of nearly all the trees they planted are all dead. They're chopping trees down at a rate of freaking knots. It's unbelievable. So yeah, we need to see. Someone called Rosemary Griffin. It's illegal to have and use a burner stove in the city where I live in. Well, do you know what I'll do? I'll do it anyway. It's a basic, fundamental human right to burn wood to keep warm. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't give a toss about that. Oh, okay. We've just been reading through the comments. Oh, we got 567 people. Awesome. Someone by Tracy Mann, all around Chesterfield, Derbyshire. Yeah, this is where I went, to Derbyshire. And we'll try and get some photos for the weekend. I'm not joking, guys. I've seen a lot. Oh, Mickey, yeah, the thumbnail. No, that's just for just to expressing a point. Like I say, you try and find evidence of forest being cut down in the UK. It's like there isn't any. But my eyes don't frigging lie. I've driven over 150 miles all over the UK and Wales, and what I've seen is unbelievable. I've driven all over Wales for 3 years now, and what I've seen is unbelievable. So it was just to try and find a picture to express a point, just for transparency. Okay. Wow. Some people in Canada as well. Yeah, Patricia, from Canada, and it upsets me. Yeah, it is. It's heartbreaking to see all these cut down, and they're not planting anymore. Someone in Andrew is saying my local woodland is being cut down in Buckinghamshire. Bloody hell. All the trees at the side of pavements in Blackpool have been removed. Oh my God. Do you know what? I had a feeling I would be onto something here. I want to know everything. Wherever you've been and you've seen lots of forest being cut down, whack it into the live chat. Because I've opened it to everyone. You don't have to subscribe at the moment. You can take part. Okay. This couldn't wait till tonight. We needed to get this out there now. Now my hope is when people finds this video, they can watch it. And I always enable the live chat replay. Okay. So when you watch this on the replay, you can see the live chat. If you don't know how to do it, if you're on your phone, you will see the comment area, and you'll see a black dot and a little grey dot. Usually where you type the comment, where you press, instead of pressing it to type into it as a comment, slide it, okay, from right to left, and then you'll expose the live chat. Okay, so for you guys who didn't know, that is. Well, Melios, hey sir, good to see you. Traveled to Germany recently. Again, housing demand causing an erection of new sites and farmland being bought and forest lands being destroyed. We got Tom saying outside Glasgow. Do you know what? I've got a friend up in Glasgow. I'll be catching up with him at the Bushcraft show. I want to see, because he used to do woodlands up there. Interesting. Essex Prepper. Good to see you, buddy. Lots of green space is being created around Essex to make space for new housing estates. Knackering local infrastructure can't keep up with the expansion. No to migrants. Pure and simple. Jay, well, pretty much, Jay, that is what their actual intentions are. I've been saying this for years. You're absolutely right, mate. I totally agree. No way. Sweet freedom. Clearing stunning forests around the Isle of Skye. Gee whiz. Do you know what? That's always concerned me. If I wanted to live up in one of the remote Scottish islands, there's just no trees there, or very little. So basically, anyone who burns trees or firewood has to rely on the mainland. Now, to me, it's something that I'd never do. The idea or the thought of relying on something or someone else just to stay warm scares the crap out of me. I've done a video which is going up tonight about heat pumps. Now, stay tuned for that. That's going up at 7 o'clock tonight, mate. The stuff I've been uncovering about heat pumps, insane. It's really weird how we're noticing all of the latest stuff which is coming out about heat pumps, about how bad they are, how behind the UK governmental targets are. They're so far behind, they're never going to meet these climate net zero targets. Why? Because people are waking up. The information is getting out there of how crap these heat pumps are. So if you want to know more about that, there's a 15-minute video, which isn't very long, going up at 7 o'clock tonight. So please watch that, okay? If you have your notifications turned on, you should get that notifications. Right, let's go down to the latest. Bo, good to see you, sir. My brother in the Isle of Wight. I wanted to buy 11 acres on the Isle of Wight woodland area, but they wouldn't let me thin and make the woods healthy. That's another thing, mate. I totally agree. Woodlands do have to be thinned out now and again to encourage regrowth, etc. It's like my partner said, we saw orchards, okay, on our travels. Oh my God. Let me know your thoughts about this. Mistletoe. Now, if you didn't know, mistletoe is apparently a disease which attacks trees. Now, most of us will know what mistletoe looks like on trees, especially this time of year and over winter. The trees are bare. You can quite easily see these big round clumps of solid color, okay, like green, in all of these like seemingly dead-looking trees. It is a major disease, and it's really bad for trees. Now, it does look like there is an attack going on with orchards. I personally haven't seen the amount of mistletoe on apple trees to this extent ever. It's the first time, and I found it quite shocking. And it was my partner Rachel who picked up on that. And I want to know if any of you guys know a bit about planting apple trees, looking after them. Is it a bit of a thing? The issue is so many things are coming into the fore right now about our woodlands, our forests are actually being attacked. They are just being cut down and destroyed. And at the rate that this is going to continue, it doesn't look very good. It really doesn't look very good based upon how long it takes for trees to be planted and to regrow. The gap is just too long, okay? What you should do is, if a tree takes 20 years minimum to mature, whether you're going to cut it down and burn it or whatever it is, what you should do is, like, 20 years before you go to cut it down, plant another one. So by the time one's ready to come down, there's already one in its place. Not just go and cut them all down and then go, oh, we should plant some trees. Well done. What sort of prick invented that idea? You're going to wait 10, 20 years with loads of little saplings? That is nowhere near enough to suck out all of the carbon from what we're all doing. Nowhere near enough. Yet, that seems to be what's happening. There we go. Rachel's on it again. Mistletoe is a parasite. Here we go, people. We've been educated now. It steals water and nutrients from trees. Technically, it's a hemiparasite, whatever that word is. I'm sorry. Dyslexia kills. Right. Which means that it can generate some of its own resources through photosynthesis. So in other words, it's a parasite. It ain't good. And we're seeing lots of them. Well, we have anyway. What have you guys seen? Again, Rachel says she's never seen so much of it in her life. Same here. I don't remember seeing that on orchards. No way. Pilgrim, good to see you, Jay. Hope you're doing well, sir. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Chuck, what you like? Good to see you, mate. You will have no trees and be happy. George Soros, probably. Yeah, someone else who knows what's going on. Good to hear, that is. Here we go. Chella Maguire says, in Scotland, the SNP, the Scottish National Party, felled 16.2 million trees for wind turbines. Now, if you want to see a description of pure frigging stupidness, there it is on the screen. How many of you guys have seen these giant, great big wind turbines? They are probably one of the most stupid, pointless things that you could ever put on the landscape anywhere on the planet. Why? Well, they move so slowly. They hardly generate any electricity at all. And the maintenance, did you know? Yeah, between 2 and 4 weeks, every single 2 and 4 weeks, a man comes round in a van, a diesel van, to go up inside and maintain them. Yeah. So how many of these turbines are in the UK? How many vans are constantly driving around servicing them, making sure they're working optimally? How many have you seen that aren't even turning around at all? And how many ones have you seen actually catch fire and blow up? And how many sheep and animals move away from them because they can't bear the noise? They are ridiculous. Now, what would be a good idea is if you had lots of smaller ones which moved a lot faster, and they stuck them right out at sea where no one can see, where it's really, really windy, and you can put cable underneath the ground coming into the UK and providing power that way. That is a good idea. To go around to the beautiful great British countryside and ruin it with these frigging stupid turbines, which are rubbish and stupid at best. Why? I'll tell you why. Jobs for the boys, money, contracts. How many governmental ministers know people personally who are winning the contracts to go around and service these wind turbines? How many of them own companies which manufacture them? Yeah, there's a lot of all of that BS going on. And the beauty of the internet is it's all coming out, it's being leaked. And eventually, the people of this once great nation are finally going to come together to wake up, and we are going to oust all of these evil bastards who are contributing towards this net zero 2050 agenda. Their days are numbered. Too many people are waking up to what's going on. Yeah, they kill hundreds of birds. They do. They're ridiculous. But the woodlands in the UK, oh my God, I'm not joking. Right, okay. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you've not seen anything, here's just a few images of what it looks like. Okay, it's heartbreaking. We spend many hours driving around the beautiful country of Wales, looking up at the mountains, the valleys, the hills, and it used to be loaded with forests. Now we're seeing this. It is absolutely devastating. Look at this. This is because of the HS2 thing. This was an ancient woodland. An ancient woodland. It's taken thousands of years sometimes to reach that level of maturity, that very amazing, fine, balanced habitat for life to live. And then they just go and chop it down because some bunch of rich arseholes want a fast train. Well, gee whiz, really? It's unbelievable. So the level of deforestation here in the UK is alarming. We're seeing it everywhere. I am not making this up. I am really not making this up. It's true. But the thing is, it's not really being talked about online. Hold on a sec. Thank you, Justin and Michael, for them donations on PayPal. Thank you very much for that. That really helps get this word out, seriously, because you can't really earn much money talking about this sort of stuff. You can earn money talking about really expensive things to attract expensive advertisers, but who wants their product advertised next to someone like me speaking about this stuff? So yeah, all of them donations on PayPal really help. Amazing. But yeah, this is interesting. Let me just put it up on. Why isn't that coming up? Oh, I can't show anything. Oh, here we are. It's working. Trees are being destroyed for 5G installation. Heard 80 million in Scotland to be slaughtered. Now, that's a very, very good point. If you didn't know, the 5G signal is a very, very short wave. Okay, so basically, for a short wave to travel long distances, it has to literally go from one antenna to another to travel. Okay, if it's a long wave, fine, you can send it for miles. But it looks like what I've been talking about for years now is you look at the street lights all over United Kingdom and probably America too, in Europe, I guess. All right. If you see a tiny little stubby aerial about that long, about 2-3 inches long, on top of an aerial, that is a 5G antenna. What you are going to see is you are going to see a box with a longer antenna on it, which is going to feed all of the small antennas all the way along these streetlights. And then to feed all of them, you're going to see that great big huge circular, usually 5G antenna mast. Okay, yeah, the big mast will send the signal out to the box with the antenna, and that signal will go bump, bump, bump all the way along the streetlights with these little antennas. And what they want to do is they want to link up all of these antennas to every house with a smart meter. Every house has a smart meter. It sends and receives information. You wouldn't believe how fast it pulses. Now, I done some tests with microphones, which I use to do recording sometimes when I'm outside. And I've done a test record. When I played it back, do you know what I was hearing? And it was about this speed. It was going like that. It turns out that every single was a pulse frequency being sent out from the smart meter. Yes, that's how fast it is. It's literally like 2 or 3 a second, constantly pulsating these data packets in the air. Okay, so you've got a smart meter in your home, and it's connected up to your smart TV, your smartphone, your smart kettle, your smart fridge, your smart shower, your smart Hoover, whatever it is. We're talking IoT, Internet of Things. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please educate yourself and look into it. This is what they want. They want everyone to have a smart home in a smart city. Why? Because it's total control. Whoever can get access to that smart meter will know how often you use the microwave, how often you use your phone, what you're doing on your phone. All of these things can be hacked. Data could be stolen, sold. You could have all sorts of private, sensitive information be used against you for blackmail. Pay us this money, or we're going to send those photographs of you and your wife on honeymoon doing something nice. It's really bad what's going on. Okay, so yes, apparently signals find it very hard to travel when there's trees, especially when they're wet. When the trees have droplets on there, try to get a 5G signal through that is impossible. So yes, McCarthy, you're absolutely right, 100% right on the money there. Wow, 700 people. I didn't expect this. You guys are awesome. But yes, let me just try and find. Here it is. I should have put it up there because there's information on that banner. Okay. If you want to, it would really help, because I want to look into this. Okay. Because it's not just affecting me, it's affecting all of us. Without trees, we're stuffed. We're seriously stuffed. And there's companies out there who are winning contracts, probably from government schemes, to literally just chop all these forests down. And with a half-assed thought about replanting some trees. I'll tell you what, if you don't believe me, next time you're out and about and you see these tiny little saplings growing in these 2-inch by 1 foot long white plastic tubes, just pull the little tree sapling up very gently. You might be surprised. Why? Because the chances of that coming completely out with no roots, rotten and dead, are very, very high. From what we saw on a YouTube video earlier, about 80% of all of them. And how freaking scary is that? If you really don't believe me, if you think I'm making this up, please go out and check for yourself. Email me back, maybe send some photographs so I can share it with the others. Because the more people that I have on my side looking out there and reporting back to me, I think we should do a follow-up video on this, or maybe even a live stream. Because this is serious shit we're talking about here. It really, really is. And personally, it's impossible pretty much for me to go out into the woodlands and to film some really, really cool videos. Why? Because they're cutting them down. If you really don't believe me, I'm going to take my camcorder out there to where I've done all of those lovely woodland videos. It'll probably make you cry. My partner cried when she saw it. She couldn't believe it. The special times that we had there were amazing. To go back there now and to see it devastate is freaking heartbreaking. Now, I know some of you know what I'm talking about. Okay, some of you know what it's like to frequently go to a woodland and enjoy it, whether you walk your dog, whether you're out trying to get a mental break from all of the madness that's going on, only to find that it's all been cut down and it's gone. It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. And another thing, I mentioned this in a video not that long ago, but when you're out and about driving on the roads, lots of the trees are being cut, which are near the roadside. But what they used to do is they used to cut them, leave them in great big logs, put them on the floor. Do you know what they do now? They chip the whole lot. It's almost like they don't want anyone having firewood because they don't want anyone having wood burners. They want people to have these stupid, fully retarded heat pumps. So they chip it all so no one can use the wood to burn. How disgustingly perverse and evil is that? And the people who are doing this for a job, what are they going to say? I'll tell you what they're going to say. They're going to say exactly what they said in Europe in World War II. The Nazis, the SS. It's unbelievable what actually happened to the Jews. And you know what? I was just doing my job. Not a single shred of conscious thought about what you are actually doing and your part contributing towards this freaking nightmare. I was just doing my job. So if you're a tree surgeon and you're cutting all of these trees down where you used to leave like logs so people can help themselves to sort of dry out, to split, to keep warm, or some of them just get used to rot down and support the beetle life out there. No, they're chipping the whole lot. That's a recent thing. Why? Is it a cost-cutting thing? I suspect is they don't want people to have firewood to heat their homes with wood burners because they want everyone to be forced onto these heat pumps. And if you get a heat pump and you have a smart meter, they could literally turn that off without you being involved anytime they want. So if you say something to anyone online which is against what they are talking about, they could just turn your smart meter off, turn your heat pump off. Well, to be honest, the heat pumps don't really do jack shit anyway. Okay, you're going to be warm at best, and when it gets really cold, you're probably going to be cold because it won't work. I know someone personally who's had one for 5 years, and I'll tell you what, if you guys want me to interview this person, let me know, and you'll be shocked to hear the truth. Unbelievable amount of bullshit which has been going on, and that's just one person that I know personally. How many have gone through the same thing? It's a freaking nightmare. So yes, they want everyone to have these smart meters. They don't want people having wood burners to burn logs, which people have been doing for tens and thousands of freaking years. Yeah, and it's all come back to two things which are making this happen. Yeah, money and the climate crisis engineered. Them two things. So basically, if you can live without money and you're not reliant on money, we win. The reason why humanity is in the place that it's in is because we all seem to rely on money. Without it, we're screwed. What happened before money? Humanity still must have existed before money, surely. What about bartering things? You know, could we actually live without money? I think if we really put our heads to it, we could. And you know what? When that day happens, all of these World Economic Forum, United Nations, governments, all of them lot are instantly powerless. They won't be able to do anything. Why? Because we are all controlled by money. That is the frigging truth, and that's what YouTube do not want me saying. So you guys, if you can please share this video before you leave, I would absolutely appreciate it. You two guys who left donations on PayPal earlier, seriously, thank you so much. It's massively helping. I'm going to try my best to make videos every single day this week with a nice big juicy live stream on Friday. So spread the word. We need to get it out there. We need to save our woodlands big time, because guess what? Without trees, we're dead. It's as simple as that. You guys take care. Thanks for watching and stay funky.